John and David in the kitchen, take one.
Well, I thought of this the other day. David, I really loved John, and John did a lot of cooking for us. And so David at one point told John he wanted him to teach him how to cook. So John said, okay, and said, why don't you pick out a recipe that you would like to do, and we'll go from there. So David picked out vichyssoise, which is cold leek and potato soup. And so they went to the store and they bought the potatoes and they bought the leeks and they bought the spices that were supposed to go into it that we didn't have on the shelf. And they set out in the kitchen to make this soup. And they chopped potatoes and they chopped onions, or leeks actually, and all the other ingredients, and put it all together and cooked it up. And David was having a grand old time and was real excited. And they got it all put together. And John said, okay, Dave, put it in the refrigerator. David said, what? He said, well, put it in the refrigerator. David said, I don't want to put it in the refrigerator. I want to eat it. And he said, well, it's vichyssoise, David, and it's a cold soup. So you can't eat it until it's been chilled. And that meant overnight in the refrigerator, which really upset David. He wanted to cook his food and eat it. And he had to wait till the next day to eat it. And it took him a while to get over that. He was not a happy camper about how cooking worked sometimes. But we did survive the night and had it the next day, and it was very, very yummy. And it was just the first thing he made with John, and after that they cooked together a lot. And to this day, David's a good cook. That's where he got it, was from his time with John, when he decided it was a good thing to learn how to do. But I did get amused by the first experience where he was just out of his mind with the fact that he had to wait till the next day to eat it because it had to be cooled. They were good friends, good buddies. Another thing that I remembered about John and the kids was that we had a big living room, an expansive area for them to play in, but it was a pulling teeth to get them to put their toys away. So John got tired of the hassle and started putting toys that didn't find their way into the toy box in an appropriate time onto a shelf high up above where the kids could reach. And if a toy disappeared, they had to earn it back. And the shock was amazing because he just started putting them up on the shelf. He didn't say anything. He didn't threaten. He just, if a toy was where it shouldn't be by the end of cleanup time, it went up on John's shelf. And when the kids started noticing they were missing things, they asked about them. And John said, well, you're going to have to earn that one back because it ended up on the floor when it should have been put in the toy box. So they got very upset about that, but they learned the rule, and it was easier to get them to pick them up after they found that if they didn't, John would appropriate them and put them too high for them to reach. He was a good addition to our family because he was not mean, but he was a good disciplinarian, and I had not been as effective as a disciplinarian as he was. And they were lucky to have him in their life. And they both agreed with that. By the time he was gone, they were very sorry to have him away from our family. That's all I have.